Hey everybody, Charles here. Welcome to Backroads Living. In this video today, we're going to show you what we found in our trips to the thrift stores and flea markets. Now, we enjoy going to thrift stores, Goodwills, and things like that, flea markets, yard sales throughout the summer, and we got out today and ran around a little bit, and we stopped at a flea market or two, and stopped in at a couple of shops and picked up a handful of things, and we wanted to share with you some of the things that we look for when we're out and why we look for the things that we do. The first thing, of course, everybody that does prepping will understand why we picked these up, but we found these mason jars. These are large half-gallon mason jars with these tops that seal on them, as you can see, and these things are very, very tight. The seals in them are still really good. These will make excellent pieces for us to store dry goods in. And we got 3 of these half-gallon jars. I think Sandy got him down to $6 on them, like $2 a piece at the flea market. He originally had $10 on them, and I think he said he'd take 8, and Sandy offered him 6, and he acted like he wasn't interested in it. And then when we got ready to leave, he hollered at us and said, "Hey, I just go ahead and sell them to you for that." So we bought them at $6. Sometimes you have to wheel and deal to get a good deal. And then we was at Goodwill, and we found these starter pots right here. Now there's about looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's about 8 of these starter pots. And we got in each pack, and we got those for 50 cents, 59 cents, I think, at the Goodwill. So those were some real good things for this coming spring. Now we try to watch when we go out and look in these Goodwills and thrift stores and things like that. We look for seasonal things that we can use, regardless if it's in the season we're in or not. If we think we can use it in the upcoming seasons, we'll go ahead and purchase it and put it back for that purpose, just like we did the seeds this year. Every time I find seeds, it doesn't matter to me if it's in season or not. If they're good seeds with good dates, I buy them anyway, because there's always going to be next year if the Lord tarries is coming, and we can use those seeds at another time. So another thing we found, this was at the flea market today, and I had put off buying some of this, but I got this, I think it was like $2, and this is called mule tape. It's like a rope type. As you can see, it's not round, it's flat. And this has a 1,000 pound capacity to it. I'm telling you, you can't hardly break this stuff. I've had this before, and if you needed to tie something up with this in an emergency, this is going to hold it. This is some of the best tying stuff, and it's easy to untie once you tie it. It doesn't get in a knot that you can't get it back loose very easy. That's one of the things I like about that. I'm going to pick up some more of this before it's over. But it's called mule tape, and it's got a 1,000 pound capacity. Really good stuff. And as we told you last week, you can't get too much of this stuff when we find it. This is made by Scotch. This is, of course, duct tape. This is in the black, and it's just really, really good duct tape. We found this at the flea market from the same person we bought the rope from. Some good stuff right there. Another thing we picked up was this at the Goodwill. We picked up this ice bucket. Now I really like this ice bucket because it looks like brand new to me. I don't think it's ever been used, and it has this scoop on it. And I thought, boy, that would make a good scoop for anything, for sugar or flour or anything like that, even if you didn't want to use the ice bucket. And I got to looking, it's got holes in the bottom of it. And I thought, well, that could be remedied pretty easy. You could take a piece of clear tape and put right over your holes right here if you wanted to do that, like boxing tape. Just a small piece of clear tape and put over top of that, and you still have a good scoop if you need a scoop for something like that. Or we may go ahead and just resell this on our website or on our Facebook page one. I'm not sure yet, but either way, it's a really nice piece. It's got the hammered bottom on it, and the scoop itself is hammered. And as we said, it looks like it's never been used. It's as clean as a pin. So that's a pretty nice piece right there. We picked it up at Goodwill. Sounded like my cat got a hold of the dog out there, didn't it? So he'll learn to leave her alone. And right here, this is Reynolds wrap in 150-foot rolls. We got two 150-foot rolls and two 100-foot rolls. This is those big, heavy-duty Reynolds wrap. He had $10 on the 4, and Sandy asked him what he'd do on all of them, and he came down to $8 for the 4. So that was like $2 a piece on them. So that was real good on that. Real good bargain on that. Another thing I purchased today at the flea market is I've been looking at this for a little bit and hadn't bought any yet, but I decided to go ahead and get a couple of them today because this is 14 gauge wire right here. It's a 100-foot roll for $3, and I thought, buddy, that's really a pretty good buy right there for galvanized wire. And galvanized don't rust real easy. And there's some things around here that we might could maybe later on. I might later on do some electric fencing. I'm not going to put it where a dog or cats can get in it, but there's some things I might could do with this later on. And whether you use it for electric fencing or not, galvanized wire, you can use it in your garden, or you can use it around the house. You could use it for a clothesline. You could use it for anything you needed to hang pot with outside, all kinds of stuff. Galvanized wire is just a good item, simply because it's that 14 gauge right there is strong enough, big enough, and it's not going to rust real easy. It'll be around for a long time. Now here's one of the joys that we find in yard selling and thrift store searches. One of the things that we come away with just about every time we go is some kind of cookbook or some kind of book that's a benefit to us in our prepping. And today was no different. Now, we don't always buy every cookbook or every book that's going to be beneficial, but we buy stuff and look through it and see if there's things that can be beneficial. Now, Sandy found this Better Homes Christmas Cooking from the Heart. It's a hardback book. A lot of these books, when we pick these up at thrift stores and yard sales and things like that, a lot of these books we'll resell them on our Facebook page our group if we're not going to use them. And as you can see, this one here still had the inserts in it. It's a brand new book. It for all intent and purposes, it's never been used. We also picked this one up. It says Recipes for Heroes. Now, the reason I got this is when I flipped through it, and this is in a binder, mind you, a really nice item here. It had most of the recipes are very short item list. These are not complicated recipes. It looked like recipes that would be fairly easy to fix and put together right out of the pantry. And that's one of the things that I've been looking for, is when I look for recipes in any of these books or in any of these old recipe cards, I look for recipes that are simple to make, recipes that you can make right out of your pantry. I don't want a bunch of recipes that it takes a lot of fancy cooking to do, because if things get hard and things go downhill, we're not going to be doing a lot of fancy cooking. If the grid goes down, I'll tell you right now, we need to be able to have recipes that we can make right out of our pantries. That's what we need to be looking for. Now here is another book that I chose out of this bunch today, and it's called One Dish Meals. And that's another thing I like, is that you can make a whole meal in one dish. You don't have to fix a lot of side dishes to go with this stuff. All these recipes are made for one dish to make a complete meal, and there's a bunch of them in that. And this one is by Betty Crocker, so you'll know there's a lot of good meals in that. Here's one called Mug Cakes. Now these would be real nice for the kids. These would be nice to give as gifts and things like that. And there's all kind of 100 speedy microwave treats to satisfy your sweet tooth. There's 100 recipes in here for mud cakes. And now this one we may or may not keep. May end up selling it on our Facebook page. I don't know. Some of these we may sell. I may just take pictures of some of the recipes out of them and just sell them. I'm not sure exactly which ones we're going to do that with and which ones not yet. We always have to look through them to decide if we want to keep them or not. I've got some really good old recipe books in there. And that's something we'll go through sometime. If y'all want us to, let me know. We'll go through some of the books that we've gathered up over the years. The the recipe books we've got and some of the self-help books and things like that. If you're interested in knowing what we've got in that, let us know and we'll be glad to do a video on that for you. But here's the best ever home baking. And again, this has got a lot of recipes in it, that's simple recipes. Now there's some in it that it calls for the whole kitchen sink to be put in them to make them what they are, but not all of them. So there's some recipes in here that we'll take photos of or write down and keep, and then probably just put it up on Facebook to sell it there. Now here's one that I'll probably end up keeping. It's called Recipe Revival. I really like this because it had a lot of recipes in it, looked like to me. Again, that didn't take a whole lot of ingredients, and I'll have to have time to go through this. But this man, this is a thick, a really thick hardback recipe book, and it's got, let's see, it didn't say how many recipes was in it, but it's got 369, it's got 369 pages in it, and it is a nice cookbook right there. And I always look for these kind of recipe books, the older ones, these old recipe books that's been put together by clubs and women's fraternities and churches and stuff like that. You can find some of the best recipes in these. And this is Cherished Recipe Books 2, Robertson County Extension Homemaker from Mount Olivet, Kentucky. There's a lot of good cooks in Kentucky, and I know there's around the country. But a lot of these recipes, again, in this book, have a lot of short lists of ingredients in them. That's what we like. It's pantry cooking, a lot of these are that you find like this. Here's a Elmark United Methodist Church cookbook right here. Now some of these we'll probably sell on our Facebook, in our Facebook group. But as you can see right here, they don't have a whole big lot of stuff in these recipes. They're just short list recipes. Look at that. And that's what I love about them. It's just stuff that's right in your pantry. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff to cook with it. Ladies Auxiliary, Veterans of Foreign War, Vanceburg, Kentucky. And here's another one. It's the same way. It's full of homemade, home-cooked stuff that people have made all their lives and tried and tested meals on their families. The last one I found was, and this was the last one I actually found, was it's called Woman's Exchange Cookbook Volume 1. And this is an old cookbook, come out of Memphis, Tennessee. So we've got some friends down in Tennessee that watch us. I know Robbie's from down there, and oh gosh, I know there's some more of you down there, and I just can't think of right off the top of my head. But this was done in 1975. I think Zombies may be down in Tennessee too. But this has got 249 pages of recipes in it, and it's just like those others. I mean, it's full of just good pantry recipes that it doesn't take a certified chef to cook this stuff. It just a old country boy like me that just knocks around. We can follow these recipes and make good meals for our families, or Sandy could cook them if I didn't feel like fooling with it. But anyway, guys, that's what we've done. We got out today and we run the roads just a little bit and stopped at the thrift stores, Goodwills, and didn't have any yard sales. There wasn't any out, but the flea markets. And we come with these things, and if you enjoyed our video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, we'd ask that you do that. And click that bell icon. Ding! You'll be notified of our videos as we post them in the future. And as always, we encourage you to prep. First, prep your soul to know the Lord Jesus Christ. Second, prep your pantries. And all the other things that go with prepping. Prep any way and every way you can whenever you find it. So again, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. And until then, we'll see you in the next video.